Alright, so number 5. We got 2 steps, so we want to find equation for vertical asymptotes, if any, and then we're going to find horizontal or oblique. So, vertical asymptote, we have a cubic function. So, when we factor this, got to remember that cubic definition. This will factor to be, the cube root of 64 is going to be 4. So this will factor to be x minus 4. And then, so you take the cube root of both terms. That's how I got this. And then you leave the same sign. Then you square this term, x squared. Multiply these 2 terms together, that will be a negative 4x, but you change the sign, so positive 4x. And then you square the last term, which will be a positive 16. Last term is always positive. So this is what we get on the bottom. So for vertical asymptote, we will set this one equal to 0, and we will get x equals 4. This one will not factor, so we will have to do quadratic formula to see what the asymptotes are. So we have x equals negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared, which will be 16, minus 4 times 1, which is a, times c. So 4 times 16 will give us 64. All over 2a. 2 times 1. Okay, so what you should notice here is underneath square root, when you do 16 minus 64, it's going to give you a negative under the square root, which is going to give you an imaginary term, and we can't plot imaginary things on our graph. So we're going to have a vertical asymptote only at x equals 4, because this is going to become imaginary. So we have vertical asymptote, x equals 4. Horizontal asymptote, if you notice, the degree of the top is bigger than the bottom. And if you were to factor the top, so plot a negative 1, it won't factor. We have x squared plus 9. Okay, so that won't factor. So the degree of the top is smaller than the degree of the bottom. So that in that case, we always have y equals 0. So we have vertical and horizontal. So we're going to just say x equals 4 because the others are imaginary. Do not believe they want us to list those. And then the horizontal is going to be y equals 0 because the top is smaller than the bottom.